Good morning, everybody. Good morning from wheresoever you are watching this video. YouTube. It has been a while. It has been a long while, but because of I was settling some things, trying to put some things in order, that's why I was able to post to this channel, the silver. But thank God I've been able to put myself in order, to arrange myself. So I have the opportunity again to share with us what God has for us today. Now, today we are talking about restitution. We are talking about restitution, and it has been something that has been in my mind, like it has been in my spirit that I need to talk about it. I need to share my part about it. So, like I always say, the messages you preach, you may never know who is benefiting from it. But I'm sure this message may touch somebody, it may benefit somebody, or maybe it may change somebody's life. The only thing you need to do is to share, subscribe to the channel, share to people, let them know what God is about and how God expects them to live their life. So like I said, the topic today is restitution, and our Bible text is going to be from the book of Exodus chapter 22, verse 1 to 15. It is a long verse, but we will see how we are going to go about with it so that we can shorten it because of the time. We read, it says, if someone steals a cow or a sheep and kills it or sells it, he must pay 5 cows for 1 cow and 4 sheep for 1 sheep. He must pay for what he stole. If he owes nothing, he shall be sold as a slave to pay for what he has stolen. If the stolen animal, whether a cow, a donkey, or a sheep, is found alive in his possession, he shall pay 2 for 1. If a thief caught breaking into a house at night and is killed, the one who killed him is not guilty of murder. But if it happens during the day, he is guilty of murder. If someone let his animal graze in a field or a vineyard, and they stray away and eat up the crops growing in someone else's field, he must make good the loss with the crops from his own field or vineyard. We will jump to verse 14 and 15 and see what he says there. He says, if a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged, he must pay the bride price for her and marry her. But if her father refuses to let him marry her, he must pay the father a sum of money equal to the bride price for a virgin. Now, if you read that whole verse 1 to 15, Exodus 22, verse 1 to 15, you will see that the Bible is talking about paying in a double way. If you steal something from somebody, you have to double it if you are paying back. Or if you mistakenly or your animals mistakenly went into somebody else's field, you have to take the crops that you grow in your field and repay them. Those things has been there. Now, when it comes to that verse 14 and 15, he said, if you sleep with a woman that is a virgin you sleep with her, and you know that you have slept with that woman, or maybe perhaps she become pregnant, you have to pay the price of the price of bride price of the, and you have to pay the bride price of that virgin. Or even if her parents refuse for you to marry her, you still have to pay the bride price equal to that virgin. Now, this is what we are going to talk about today, restitution, and we are going to see deeper ways of restitution and see what God talks about restitution, or how or what should a Christian do in these situations. Now, introduction is saying God Himself, not man, God Himself include restitution as part of our daily life. God, the Almighty God Himself, include restitution in our lives. It's not like something that, okay, we just sit down, consider the way how the world is going or the way how lives are going. It's not normal. So we have to do something about it. We have to put things so that it cannot continue living in such a dark and sinful world. So we have to do something about it. So let us put this law in order. No, it was not like that. It was God Himself that put that thing there, that you have to resist it. If you do something, you have to resist. So now you can see in this case, there's nothing like I made a mistake. There's nothing like it was not my fault. If you mistakenly go against somebody and you know that you have mistakenly go against that fellow, you have to go ask for forgiveness. You have to pay. Sometimes you may be lucky. If you want to pay, the person may say that since I have seen your heart, I have seen the genuinity of your heart, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. I've forgiven you because of your truthfulness or honesty. But if the fellow doesn't have that mind, you have to really pay. Whether they give you something and you lost it, you have to pay for it. It's not like forgive me, you have to pay, except if they forgive you. But not you choosing to forgive yourself. That is, it doesn't work like that. You have to pay for that thing that was lost in your possession. He said restitution is the act of returning or restoring something or things to the original owner. You have stolen something from somebody. You have taken something from someone and the person is not aware of it. You make it your own. You have stolen something from somebody. You have to return that thing back to that fellow. Maybe the time you are stealing that, or maybe the time you stole that thing that you stole, you are not a Christian. This time around, God said you have to return that thing to that person. Now that you are a Christian, you cannot say that, okay, because if I'm a Christian, all things are passed away. No. If those things are still in your possession, you have to return them back to to the original owner. You cannot say that all things are passed away. No. Yes, we know that all things are passed away. It's true. But those things that you stole from people, or you have taken them and from the people that from people and they are not aware of it, you have to return them back. You have to make sure everything is settled. You have to make sure that your path is clean. You have to make sure that the way how you go about with your life in your new life is straightforward and is spotless. He says it also involves making peace if you have done a wrong thing to someone. For example, if a man has stolen an animal, it is recommended he pay a double for the animal that he has stolen. Restitution in the Bible is such that you have to pay back over what you have to pay back, and above that you have taken unlawfully. You have met somebody or you have wronged someone. You know the people that you have wronged. You listening, you know that you have gone against somebody. Sometimes you have lied against somebody, or you have betrayed somebody. You have conspired against somebody, or you have made a false statement, false witness against someone, and those things have put them to danger, or those things have put their life in jeopardy. You have to go back and ask those people for forgiveness. We have been seeing things like this happening in our society. A lot of times that people will do things and they think they can just go away. They can just disappear and nothing will happen. And everybody forget about it. Except if you're not a child of God. Except if you are not somebody that is godly or somebody that call on the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Then you can go freely and nobody will tell you anything about it. We have learned that this particular passage, this particular topic I'm talking about, restitution today, a lot of churches, a lot of ministries, they run away from it. They don't want to talk about it. Because why is it that they don't want to talk about it? And these things need to be taught. These things, people need to hear it. Somebody in your congregation is there living a life that is bad, or he or she has been living a life that is not good. And you didn't tell them anything. And they think that now that they have come to church, everything is okay. No, it's not okay. You have to preach this word. Tell them that the kind of life that you were living before, you have to go back and settle everything. When we were having this class, I remember in our theology seminar school, somebody asked, he said, what if you slept with somebody's wife before, and now that you are a Christian, how are you going to settle that? Because if you go and tell the man, this is what I did, I slept with your wife, the person may kill me. The person may kill you. And the man, the lecturer that was teaching, made it clear. He said, use wisdom in everything. So don't say that like, I don't have the opportunity, or I don't have the chance to tell the people, or to go and ask for forgiveness to this particular part, because if I do, something may happen, or maybe something bad may happen. No, use wisdom. There's a way how you use wisdom, things will go out smoothly. Pray over it. Take your time and see what God is going to do. Me, I believe God answers prayers till now. And I still believe God can do miracle stuff till now. The way how God is going to touch that person's heart, only God knows. But use wisdom. Use wisdom. Now, we are going to see some biblical passage about restitution. What is it all about? We will first look at Luke chapter 19, verse 8 to 9. Luke 19, 8 to 9. Luke 19, 8 to 9. We see what it says. Luke chapter 19, verse 8 and 9. It says, Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, listen, sir, I will give half my belongings to the poor, and if I have cheated anyone, I will pay back 4 times as much. Jesus said to him, salvation has come to this house today, for this man also is a descendant of Abraham. You have taken somebody's money. You cheated somebody falsely. You have taken something that belonged to somebody, and you know that this thing, the way how I cheated this, the way how I have taken this money, or this possession that belonged to this person, is not right. Sometimes some people are so tricky, so wise, to the point that they will take something that belongs to you, with you agreeing that you have to let that thing go, and in your heart you are not actually ready to allow that thing, or to allow that money or that finance to just go out like that. But because of the wisdom they used over you, the tricks they used over you, you cannot deny it. You have to allow it to go. But if you look at it in biblically or lawfully, you will see that it was not actually right. And you're the one that has taken that money. You know that this is not right. This is not a good way, or this is I shouldn't have done this. The Bible says you have to go back and pay, return that thing to those people. Zacchaeus said, if I've taken something from you falsely, or I cheated you, I will return that thing, the money that I've taken from you, 4 times. 4 times I will return it back to you. And half of his wealth, that he knew that this money that I have, this wealth, this money, these billions I have, or millions, or whatsoever amount of money you have taken from people, half of it, I'll give it to the poor. And Jesus answered him and said, today salvation has come to your house. If you have done something like this, or something similar to this in the past, and you don't have the urge, you don't have that feeling that is telling you, return it, bro or sis, trust me, you have not gotten salvation yet. Sorry, I cannot judge. I'm not judging. God forbid to judge people, because me, myself, I'm a human. I'm a human being. So I cannot judge. But If that is the case, you have to ask for forgiveness. Me myself, I've done restitution before, so I'm not saying, or I'm not talking to people based on what I've learned. This topic I'm talking about is practical, because me myself, I've asked for forgiveness. I've restituted. I've done something before in the past. I remember I cannot go to this. I told this what I did. This what I did. No, but I actually call. I say, at a particular period of time, at a particular year, this is what I did. But I'm asking for forgiveness. Please forgive me. And guess what? I have been forgiven. Why? Because there's two things that I always think of in my life, that I want to make it to heaven. I really want to make it to heaven. And the second part is that I don't want to have anything against people. Your problems, like one preacher was saying, one of our fathers said, your relationship between you and human beings is more dangerous than your relationship with God. And I agree. Because your relationship with people, human beings, you can actually ask them. Your relationship with God, you can actually ask God, can you please forgive me? Ask God, genuinely forgive me, and God will forgive you. But what of your relationship between humans, your fellow human beings? Sometimes you may even feel proud to ask them for forgiveness. Sometimes you may say that, who is this person that has to go and ask for forgiveness? Yes, you have offended them. You have to ask for forgiveness. Zacchaeus said, I will give half of my wealth to the poor, to make sure that like everything I have done wrong in the past is clean, is clear off. And Jesus said, salvation has come to this house. How many of us are still living in that kind of life, or still living in it thinking that everything is over? Has salvation come to you? Has salvation come to your house? You need to check this thing before it is too late.